experience where two have truly become one. God is at the center of us, our purpose and vision in His love. We dedicate our today, tomorrow, and always to You, our King. Bless and let there be love in our home. The marriage experience ordained by You alone. Marriage experience. The marriage experience ordained by You alone.
Welcome to the Marriage Experience program with Ayo Kunle and Boston A. Santos, where they explore what it means to cultivate a God-centric marriage, delivering realistic and biblical wisdom, pointers, and insights from couples and individuals on the marriage journey. Join them today as they share some insights.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Marriage Experience program. It's always our delight and it is our honor to join with you in forging your path to build a God-honoring, thriving, and influential marriage. And this marriage then leads to a meaningful family life.
Indeed, these few minutes we get to spend with you weekly is one of our greatest delights.
Yes,
And
it
today
is.
again, we'd be continuing with our conversations around family dynamics. Last week, we talked about parenting, around the different transitions the children go through. And today, we'd be looking at some other forms of transition. A new baby, moving homes. We know that all too well.
Yes.
How many times have we moved?
Last count 13 homes.
Oh
yeah.
well, and don't be alarmed. We're not running away from anything, but sometimes we also have to deal with the not so desirable influences of extended families, because these changes can destabilize the family. Of course, not in a life-threatening way. We'll look at how to keep the family united and stable through all these changes.
Absolutely. And honestly, that is the goal. Remember, we've always said that the family life is the marriage, and then the family life from there is at the cause of society.
I mean, we have to go through all these things anyways, don't we?
True.
Yeah.
True. So we can also look at these changes as opportunities for growth, right? Now, every change in any family dynamics presents the family with a new opportunity to grow stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that is when that change is managed properly. And this gives good thoughts to working through the ups and downs. Remember, change motivation is one of the 5 main classes of motivation in the study of human behavior, if it is properly employed. And when it is properly employed, it's considered one of the most effective forms of sustainable motivation. Other types have their life expectancy, and they expire after a period of time because of the type of motivation it is. But change motivation is what is considered something that can last for a lifetime, really.
And that's your specialty, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, it's something that gets me going. For starters, it bears mentioning here that transitions should not be seen as interruptions to family life. Rather, they should be seen as opportunities to grow closer, to strengthen faith, to build a foundation of love that weathers every season. Again,
that's more and more something that God's been teaching us.
Correct.
About interruptions, not being
problems,
not to see them in the negative light, but
Exactly.
to see them as growth opportunities.
Absolutely. And of course, this points to the benefits of change motivation, which is what we're talking about. Transitions require the adaptation to new norms because you're in a new environment, you're in a new situation. The old systems don't work in the new in the new environment. Transitions also require you to develop new support systems, new resources, learning new processes, acquiring new skills, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Now, so let's look, for instance, at welcoming a new baby. This is a joyful but also challenging milestone for any family. It reshapes dynamics, reorganizes responsibilities, and it also introduces new emotional adjustments for parents and, of course, for older siblings. I mean, just like I shared a moment ago, this milestone requires the adaptation to new norms, sleep patterns, social norms, things like that. And it also requires the development of new support systems and resources, new furniture, home electronics, and things like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
our sons, they have, all sorts of gadgets, around their children, around their daughter, our granddaughter, and they have this thing that plays some water music
Motor music,
when
yeah,
she's
to help her.
asleep.
Yes,
They have the
yes.
monitor where they can see her movement and everything.
And of course, with the new electronics, like one always teases that you can always tell a bachelor's pad are different from, because the first thing a bachelor would tend to go for is a huge TV,
Absolutely.
very expensive electronics. But as the family begins to grow, or as the family begins to expand, the focus changes from
To
that.
different types of furniture,
Yes.
and it also it requires the family that's welcoming the new baby to also learn new processes and also acquire new skills, which like changing loaded nappies or diapers laced with the wonderful scent of what, don't let's gross you out, and so this is just, we must, the parents, welcoming new babies and who already have older kids. We're talking maybe 2-3 years older than this new baby. It must be intentional about approaching this change, and in such a way to make it a smoother and more beautiful experience for the whole family.
Transition, yes.
Yeah, and this challenging bit of welcoming a new baby is that parents often have to face physical and emotional exhaustion, especially
Tell me about
during
it.
the newborn phase, whilst also striving to meet the needs of the older children and other responsibilities which still require their attention. Older siblings, this is a point to note. They may feel jealous, they may feel upstaged, or even confused, especially if they're under 5, about their new role in the family. And the family just needs to work through these challenges in a thoughtful way, to be, or rather thoughtfully prepared to handle those situations, and to also communicate and to reassure the older siblings.
And that's a big one, to reassure the older siblings that, look, they haven't been pushed to the side. Not like there's a new sheriff in town, so we don't need you anymore. It's just an addition, which is a new, like we're talking about the change management side of things, to let them see it as a good thing, as an expansion, rather than as a replacement.
Yeah.
So since we're looking at handling transitions, it's important to involve older siblings, give them a sense of responsibility by assigning them tasks like helping with the process of diaper changes, which we are trying to, choosing the baby's outfit, or entertaining the baby during quiet moments.
I remember our first son, whenever I had to do something, we just lay the baby, down and on the carpet, of course, on all those fancy, thingies that you lay babies on, and just make the older brother sit. 3 years between the two of them. So older brother sit with baby and just keep baby company. Of course, with my eyes, able to see both of them.
So what we're talking about here is this new role that the older sibling takes up. Just talking here about being a big brother, big sister, and making them realize that it's actually a gift, and that reaffirms their importance, the continued importance to the family. You want to use positive language, like, something like, the baby is so blessed to have you as a sibling. So they see it as a good thing. Now, imagine allowing a 5-year-old older sibling to read simple board books to the baby. It could be a treasured bonding activity. giving him or her a sense of responsibility and delight in the new role.
You could even give a big sister or big brother gift, to even make the older sibling feel like I'm still being recognized here,
Exactly.
and it's a thing for it's an advantage to me
It's a
to have
good
this
thing.
baby. Yes.
Absolutely. Of course, discuss with them the upcoming changes before the baby arrives. You don't want the baby to arrive and then begin to make the changes, because here what we're talking about is preparing the sibling to the changes that are going to come. You
I
want to
remember we used to make Mayo come and listen to the baby, his brother, the heartbeat,
yes,
and then whenever the baby
movements.
was moving, you
Yes.
come and see, so
I wonder if they remember.
of course they will remember.
You want to explain how routines may shift temporarily, but stress that the family's love for them will never ever wane.
That's very, very
will
important.
never wane.
That's very, very important. Also use child-friendly analogies like comparing the new baby to a plant requiring more care at first, but that will eventually bloom into a playmate. The baby at the beginning can't respond the way they would want the baby to respond, but eventually there will be that bond that they're looking for. It's important to get them to understand that they also received such care when they were younger. Reassure them that feeling mixed emotions about the baby is natural and it's okay. Dedicate one-on-one time with older children, whether through bedtime stories, walks, or their favorite activities, to just increase and strengthen their own value in themselves. Consider creating maybe a schedule to balance time spent with each child, so no one feels overlooked.
Balance, of course, doesn't mean exactly 50-50.
Of course, it can't be 50-50. The baby would always, still get more attention, but let the older sibling older sibling or siblings still know that you're there for them and you're looking out for their well-being. Regularly tell them how much you love them with words, with gestures, and with actions. Involve them in planning for the baby, maybe to decorate the nursery or picking out baby's clothes like we mentioned earlier. This would help them to develop a sense of ownership and excitement. Point out the positives of having a sibling, like having a lifelong friend, playmate, or partner in adventures.
You're listening to the Marriage Experience program with Ayokunle and Bosede Santos.
Yes, you want to watch out for signs of jealousy or withdrawal, and you want to address them gently. Validate their feelings about encouraging positive behavior. It is only natural for them to feel, because especially if you have just the first, they've been the center of attraction for 1, 2, 3, 4 years or whatever it is, and then this new sheriff comes into town, and you have to understand that would be there. Now, studies suggest that involving older siblings in caring for the newborn develops empathy, develops in them a sense of responsibility, and then, of course, it makes that sibling bond a lot stronger. Remember Psalm 127 verse 3. It reminds us that children are a heritage from the Lord, pointing to the blessing that every child is. You want to encourage older children to see the new baby as a gift from God. And you can that they can use this to frame the experience they're going through positively. Adding a new baby to the family is not just an adjustment, it's an invitation for everyone to grow in love, to grow in patience, to grow in faith. Remember, change should be seen as an opportunity for growth. And that's what really change is about. Be preparing emotional systems, that you're going to employ in your family. You want to maintain strong connections, and you want to lean on God's guidance.
Most important.
Yes, and that is just the foundation. Families can navigate this beautiful transition with grace by doing these things.
Yeah. Having a baby is one thing, moving home is another thing. So let's look at how to manage transitioning to a new home, bearing in mind the memories each address holds for the family. Relocation to a new home is a significant life event that can feel overwhelming for adults, let alone children.
If I remember correctly, I haven't done this for a while now, but if I remember correctly, there's like a list of the most stressful periods that one goes through in life. Bereavement, divorce, and moving home are the top three. So it is a big deal.
Absolutely. So, leaving behind familiar surroundings, routines, and relationships often awakens a mixture of emotions from excitement to anxiety, and that's understandable. But by being intentional about approaching this transition with faith, families can turn a potentially challenging experience into an opportunity for growth. We cannot overemphasize that. Every transition, every apparent or the situation that seems like it's an upset to the norm is always an opportunity for growth. Engage the younger children or your children, not necessarily younger children, even younger children can lift little things, but engage the children in packing, especially their belongings, selecting decor for their new room, and planning how to organize their space. Take time to visit local parks, schools, or community centers before or shortly after moving. Highlight the positives like the new opportunities for friends, making new friends, expanding their social, what do you call it now, their social circle. Yeah, and their hobbies or adventures.
What Bossede just explained is very important indeed, because there is that tendency when one moves, of course we know all about it, into a new environment, there's a tendency to close up because you don't know people, but you've got to push past that positively. You might move into an environment, which we've done a couple of times, where people are very insular, they keep to themselves. You've got to make yourself you've got to stand out and stand up and do something about it, and teach your children as well, so they can carry that attitude and that culture to school. You want to frame the move as a family journey, emphasizing the excitement of discovering a new home together. And that's an opportunity to build something new together. Again, managing change properly. An idea for building together could be to create a moving adventure map, for example, where you add stickers each time you explore a new part of your new town. And this will make the process exciting. It will give the children a sense of ownership in this transition process. Whether it's bedtime prayers, family movie nights, or Sunday morning pancakes, or whatever you like eating, you want to continue favorite routines to sustain emotional stability. You want to include family devotions. You want to include discussions in the process to remind everyone that God is always with you, no matter where you are or where your circumstances are. Now, while everything around us may change, remember our God and our love for each other remains steadfast anchors.
Absolutely.
They never change. The love of God, the love we have one for the other the love of God remains steadfast, and then we follow suit in ensuring that our love for each other remains steadfast as well.
Indeed. Another thing you could do is to encourage regular calls or video chats. We all have FaceTime or WhatsApp video and all whatnot, with their friends from your previous home. Well, especially if you've moved towns or even countries, just try and maintain that relationship. Help them to share with their friends updates about their new adventures by help just generally help them to maintain a sense of continuity with their past relationships. Studies indicate that maintaining connections after a move helps children adapt more quickly and also reduces the feelings of isolation. Relocation is an excellent opportunity to trust in God's plan. Scripture provides us reassurances that change, through though difficult, is part of God's purpose for growth and renewal. Remember what Joshua 1:9 says. It says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And that reminds families that they're never alone, even in unfamiliar circumstances.
Unfamiliar circumstances, unfamiliar environment, unfamiliar people. God is always with us. And, it's the same thing that Proverbs 16:9 says, and it says, "In their hearts human plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." So our Father will always be with us because He's established our steps. So He knows where the challenges are. He knows what we need. He knows the kind of people we need to be with, and He orchestrates these things. He establishes our steps. Trusting that God directs every step can give families peace during this period of uncertainty. You could use a calendar, for example, to count down the days until the move, making milestones to help the children visualize and prepare for the change. Writing down the experiences can help children process their emotions and create a solid memory for the transition. Remember, when you, of course, know you're going to move, you want to prepare the children and present it to them as something good, which it is, or which in most cases it is. But if it's managed properly, it is. And, as soon as you settle in a new place, join church groups, sport teams, communities, events, and anything of the sort to help everyone build new connections as quickly as you can.
Wow. So let's recap what we've talked about today. These times just, they go by so fast. we talked about relocating, which can be challenging, which can be a challenging transition for our families, but it also offers opportunities for growth and for bonding. And to ease the process, parents can create excitement by involving children in the move, such as decorating their rooms or exploring the area together, whilst also maintaining familiar routines that they had been used to before. We talked
We're talking about transferable routines.
Routines, yes.
It doesn't matter where you live, you go to bed.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter what kind of environment you're in, you also go to bed. So it's just prayer times and all that. It's to create a sense of continuity within them.
We talked about welcoming a new baby into the family and how the different adjustments that need to be made, different systems that need to be put in place, different skills that need to be adopted or learned. The same thing as with the parents, as with the children, by ensuring that the children are part of looking after this new baby that has come. So grounding the family in faith, we did mention a scripture like Joshua chapter 1 verse 9 reminds everybody that God's presence will always provide stability and reassurance for wherever we may be.
Indeed, absolutely, 100%. Practical steps like using a moving countdown or quickly joining local church groups like we suggested can help children adapt smoothly and embrace the new environment. Remember, home isn't just a place. It's where there's love, faith, and family together and to grow together. My grandfather always said, well, look, it doesn't matter where you live. As long as there's a human being and as long as there's love, you can make it your home, no matter how cold or hot it is.
That's so wise.
Well, for me, I don't like heat, but it doesn't matter how cold or hot it is, as long as there's a human being and as long as there's love, you can make home. You can make it your home. Wow. So, as always, it's been yet another amazing episode. Our prayer is for our children's hearts to be captured by the Lord and for them to live as light and standards of godliness in their generation, in Jesus' name. So, we appreciate your feedback at MXperience@lidiosantos.com. All our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. The handle is at Marriage Experience, again without the E. And if you're listening to this on a Monday, remember there's a replay on Wednesday. And you can actually encourage you to invite other couples to listen to it online. Or if you're unable to do that, to log on to our YouTube channel and to listen to all the recordings. So thank you very much. God bless you and do have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Join Ayo Kunle and Boss Day again next week on The Marriage Experience as they bring God's truth to help you build your marriage God's way. Till then, remember, marriage is God's idea and it is a good thing.
The marriage experience all day.